I call to order the Adrian City Commission meeting for July 20th, 2026. If everyone would please rise for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Mayor Heath, present. Commissioner Roberts, present. Commissioner Zeig, present. Commissioner Banky,
Present.
Commissioner Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Present.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Present.
All commission members present. May I get a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of CR 26107 from the consent agenda to the regular agenda per request of a commissioner?
Madam Mayor, I'd also like to have CR 26110 and CR 26111 removed from the consent agenda.
May I get a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of CR 26107, 110, and 111 and moving them to the regular agenda off of the consent agenda?
So moved. Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Banky with a second from Commissioner Cheshire. Roll call, please. Commissioner Roberts? Yes. Commissioner Zeig? Yes. Commissioner Banky?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire?
Yes.
Mayor Heath? Yes. Motion carried. It is now time for public comment regarding items on the agenda. This is only for items that are on the agenda. And just to reiterate, there is a 3-minute time limit. And for the record, please state your name and place of residence. We will begin inside the city chambers first. When we have exhausted all public comment inside the chambers, we will then open it up to the Zoom participants. We will begin now.
Hello. My name is Michelle Taylor. I reside at 712 North Locust Street. I appreciate this opportunity. I have a couple here things today that relates to more of the data center. I have recommendations for the data center application that I was hoping that I could.
You could do that at a regular public comment at the end because it's not on the agenda. But you're more than welcome to bring that back when we do public comment after we go through the items on the agenda.
What are the three on the agenda then? I don't understand.
All of them on the agenda are either on the consent or on the regular agenda. Any resolutions, any ordinances, any consent agenda items. Thank you. We will now open it up to the Zoom participants regarding items on the agenda. Hearing no public comment, we will move on to our discussion items. At this time, I will turn it over to our acting city administrator, Will Sadler, for an administrator update.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to talk about a few things that some commissioners had some questions on recently. So the first thing is the strategic plan. We ended up getting 5 RFQs for the strategic plan, which also includes the parks master plan. So what we're going to do next, then, instead of trying to narrow the 5 down, we're just going to send out an RFP to each of those 5 to get some costs behind these RFQs. And then we can bring those all to the commission to look through those to determine what direction you want to go with those. I had some questions about the Bixby property. So obviously that property is still owned by ProMedica. There is a prospective buyer for that property. Matt and I actually met with him today on site to talk about some things that need to be addressed that he was already working on. That site had received a notice of violation back in May from our building official regarding general cleanup of the property and some erosion issues that they were having over there. So they are going to contract with a local contractor to address the erosion issues. And they're going to also contract with a landscaping firm to get that property cleaned up to the best of their ability. Now, understand that that property has not been sold yet. But they're still gonna perform that work to get it kind of stable. He did say that he was gonna give us the erosion control plan probably tomorrow. They hired another contractor, another firm to do a new survey of the property, so they have a new topographical map that they're gonna put their site plan on and then resubmit their PUD at some point, but he didn't have a time frame on when he wanted to get that done. And there was a question about recouping the money that was sent their way through the BRA. That money is actually not due to the city until next April. I believe it's the end of April is when that money is due to the city. Community development, obviously, we've had a lot of turnover in that department, so we.
Before you move on to
Yes.
that, isn't there an interest payment that's due?
There was an interest payment that was due in April. I don't believe it was paid.
Okay.
Correct. So
So
that would have to be
so-
on top
so
of that.
That's outstanding, but the
Yes.
total principal that's not due until next.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And didn't we also stop payments because they didn't have the spec house built and they didn't have the proper,
Yeah, there was one more
Right.
payment that was
and we didn't give them that?
that is correct. That is correct. Community development, obviously a lot of turnover in that department. We still have our code enforcement staff. They're still continuing their rental inspections, vacant building ordinances, normal code inspections. So they're handling that. We are working with McKenna to help out with a lot of the planning and zoning stuff. And we actually have a meeting with them this week. They have somebody on site once a week for about 4 hours to help with some of the workload. And then we meet with them periodically just to get updates and just kind of information download from both sides on what's going on. So we've been working with them. The building official job posting is out. So far, we've only received one application for that job. So we'll leave that out there for a little bit longer. We will, when we meet with McKenna, we'll kind of get some guidance from them on what they feel is the best path forward for us in terms of personnel. I was really interested in, bringing, the planning and zoning administrator back, but that was not in the budget for this coming year. So that's kind of probably out of the question unless we make a sacrifice on either community development director and contract that out like we have in the past. I don't know. I think we're going to pick their brain to see how they think the best approach will be on what positions to fill. Because that's what they do all the time. I know that I mentioned setting up meetings to kind of review the rental inspection program. So obviously I was on vacation last week, so I couldn't schedule anything last week, but I will get with staff tomorrow and find out if there's any availability this week or next week, and I will pass it on to everybody who wants to come in and sit down for a period of time and kind of go over the software and the rental program itself. The fee house obviously is being listed for sale through a realtor. I have not had any updates. I believe there's been some interest in it, but I don't know if anybody else has heard anything. But I have not heard anything on that.
Excuse me on that, on the fees. Was that a 30-day bid process or is this open for 6 months?
The fee house.
It's with a broker.
I understood. I was told last community development, Lisa, that they were putting out bids for a 30-day period. And I was just wondering, was that changed?
That was some time back. That was what, 8 months ago? But since then, the commission decided to go with a broker, so it's being advertised now and we're taking any proposal. to bring to the commission.
I did have a realtor contact me and there was somebody of interest, but the question they brought to me was about zoning change and spot zoning for that. And I said, when we approved that, we put several stipulations into what can be done and what can't be done with that house. And I just suggested to him that it was probably best that he go and review that. And then he can, tell the person who was asking for it.
There was some questions on the budget and how much we're saving by not having filled these positions. And honestly, it's kind of a tricky situation because we're only 3 weeks into the budget year. So yeah, we're seeing some savings, but we're also paying McKenna a little bit more to help pick up some of the slack. So I don't have a good number to give you. I can do some more research into that. In terms of, what we're saving, obviously, city administrator wise, yeah, I think he was getting $3,000 a week or whatever. I don't remember. And I'm getting 500. So we're significant savings there. Obviously community development director position. So we're seeing some savings, but obviously I can't really put a number on it right now, but I can dig into it a little bit more if you need me to. Yeah.
I asked for that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would just like to know because we have several positions not open and I think we could go and easily find out how much we're saving because they've not been in. The new position that we've added
Right.
for the assistant. And so we could go from there to start getting a grasp on, are we overspending? Because we're intending on selling property for 500,000. And I think that it's important that the public know where we're at, how we're
Yep.
saving and how we're going to recruit
Yep.
500,000. Because I don't think we're going to get 500,000 from the fee estate. And Witt Farm has been for sale forever. So, so we have more property today, but how we're going to get $500,000 out of property.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. There was a question on Bone Pool. Obviously, I haven't done anything with Bone Pool, and that can be certainly discussed when we talk about the parks master plan, which is probably going to be prioritized, I think, somewhat over the strategic plan, simply because I believe that needs to be done by the end of this fiscal year. So the strategic plan, you got a little bit more wiggle room, not to kick the can down the road anymore, but I think the priority has to be with the parks plan. A quick update on water. Obviously, implementation of proposed short-term solutions. We've been doing this short-term solutions. We added the copper sulfate for I call it round one phase. I call it phase one, round one, because we do it once and then we have to wait 2 weeks and then we can do it again. So the first one went in the first week of July. And the second one on this phase will be done, I believe, tomorrow, definitely this week, weather depending. Hope we can actually use a little bit of rain, but we don't want to do it while it's raining. And then phase two happens in September. Same kind of a thing. We do it one day, specific amount applied, and then we take a sample for copper. And then we wait 2 weeks and we do the second dosing in that same area. So that'll happen again in September, for probably the first and third week in September.
Is there any update on the materials that you requested from Lenawee now in terms of what the lead time is for those to arrive?
Honestly, I don't have that answer today. I mean, I was gone last week, and I keep apologizing for that, but sorry. I actually feel guilty for taking vacation last week. I'll get back on that, and check with them to see if they can still be able to fund that. I will say that the lake has been friendly to us so far this summer. We've had 4 straight weeks of very good numbers. 3 weeks in a row, the numbers were right around 1 part per trillion on the tap, and very low in the lake itself. And then this week, I think that the Jasmine was in about 1, and the MIB creeped up to about 3, so still quite low. So hopefully there's been some noticeable improvement in the water quality. And then I'm still waiting for the Tetra Tech study. It'll be sometime next month
Okay.
to update those numbers.
And thanks to Michelle, because the Lake Erie Waterkeeper,
Yeah.
they shared information about some an actual, for lack of a better term, cruise to
Yeah.
go out and see Lake Erie and the impact that LG has there. So I signed up for this. The one question that I wanted, as in terms of possibility, because when Eagle was here, I talked to that gentleman about other comparable cities, and he mentioned Monroe having an oxidizer there. Is there a possibility for a group of us to visit the treatment plant in Monroe
Absolutely.
to see, what has their level of success been, since they're drawn from lake water like we are, at least to explore some of that
Yep.
as discussions and that touch.
Yeah, of course. We work with City of Monroe. We actually take samples to them for certain things and they run because they have the equipment to run it. I haven't been to Monroe in a few years, but great people over there. And yeah, absolutely. If anybody's interested, let me know and we can try to set something up.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I have a question on that water too, updated, because my understanding, you quit testing in 2019 for that certain site.
We stopped testing for the DNA because the data didn't really mean much because we didn't have a baseline. We still test for things like microsystems and stuff like that, but it's the DNA particles or parts we stopped testing.
Who does the testing?
What's that?
Do you do your own testing?
No, we send that out. We send that out to the state lab,
What state lab is it? State Michigan or?
DHHS.
Okay.
Another thing that was that was asked, of Will to update, but he didn't know because he wasn't involved with it, but I was. So, I said that I would speak to that was, a question on just meeting with the representatives of the Dominican Sisters and SHU. And, myself and former Administrator Chad Baugh and former Community Development Director Lisa Hewitt-Cruz were part of a discussion group that they brought in. The Phoenix Committee, that is the group that is working on it, asked different groups to come in and they met with us and wanted to hear thoughts, impact, where we could see that property going, just getting ideas, but also just hearing concerns. And so we were in there probably at least an hour with a group that then they were compiling all of that information and they were talking to lots of people though, businesses, like anybody. But we were the city reps that went into that meeting. And I've run into a few people from the Phoenix Committee recently, and I've been asking, and I actually was on campus at Santa Heights right before they officially closed their doors on June 30th. And they still, even the few employees they were retaining are still waiting to hear word. They said they're still working on the plan. They haven't come out with it yet. It's not been announced, but they are working on it. They have different things they're working on. I've been asking people on that committee that I see regularly, so I'm in their ear all the time asking them. And they said when they're ready to, come forth with ideas and thoughts that they think can really happen and where that property can go, that they will bring that forth. And they acted like it's going to be coming in the near future, but they didn't give me a specific timeline. So that's all I have on that one.
Is there a time for when we're going to talk about the administrator search and process that we're going to use moving forward?
Yes, I mean, we need to start it. Yes.
Because I have had a couple meetings with folks that have done executive searches from here local within our
Mhm.
community. And I think the big takeaway is focusing in on a couple of interviews and not doing just one. That was one of the big takeaways when I talked with Dave Hickman today. And they've done searches where it's just a 30-minute Zoom call for to get to know somebody, the meet and greet type of thing. And then from that, make selections to dig a little bit deeper. But I think that having multiple interviews is an important piece as we plan moving ahead. And the other thing that I think would be important would be a site visit. And that would be, so do we go to their community? That was the case in terms of, for me, when I was superintendent, and I know that was an example that I've heard other people using. So, we'll use Mr. Baugh as an example for the last time. So would there be a group of people that would go up, meet with some of the folks that he was in charge with, some of the community folks that he gave examples of during his interview and so forth. Then I was thinking about, if there's a shift in a commission and someone was, kind of let go from there, they had a separation or things like that. How do we approach that? And I think we could still go to that community if that were the case, because obviously if there's a change in the commission and that happened, but still that person should have connections and ties within their community, business leaders, community residents who can come and share and kind of speak on their behalf here of us too. So I think those were a couple of the takeaways from the conversations that I had that kind of resonated for us to have some multiple steps instead of 45 minutes. That's it. All right. No follow up. We're all on a script, and then go from there.
Piggybacking on that, and this is just what I was approached to with meeting people in the community, is that I was told, not by anybody up here, but I was told that people were being approached to be on an interview team and an interview committee, and that the commission was kicking it around, that idea. And I thought to myself, I didn't kick it around because I've not heard it. And I've heard it from more than one source about people who knew people that were asked to be on it. And I didn't ask for names or anything like that. So if we could get some clarification on how this plan is going to work, are we going to have this committee that I guess I don't know anything about that's proposed or been brought to people in the public for attention? I would really appreciate being in that line of communication. And Mayor, if you don't know,
I have no idea as well.
but somebody's saying it and it's getting out there.
Was this put on the agenda for tonight?
No,
So why are we talking about it?
because you can in discussion items other as time permits.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I had no idea, Commissioner Schwartz. That's the first I've heard it. That's why I looked at you like a deer in the headlights, because I had never heard that until you just said it.
I heard it when I was meeting with a lady down at the coffee shop.
Well, I've gotten the same feedback when it comes to more interviews, more follow-up, not just that 1 45-minute interview. I've also received that feedback from many that I've talked to as well. So I definitely think that is a good idea to have it more than just that one and done and you're making a decision, even though there are other things that we were given and like a video interview, but that's a little different because we weren't interviewing them. They were just speaking in, they were filming themselves and speaking. I do think that would be, it is very important to have more than just the one. It's very difficult to do that just based off that one interview.
Could this be brought up as a whole discussion topic at our next
Sure.
meeting?
Yeah.
Because I appreciate Commissioner Banky's comments and his ideas. I think that if we talk about, from the very first, how we're going to advertise it, to whom we're going to place those things. I mean, start from the bare scratch so that this is totally transparent for everybody in the city, because I've already heard, the young, the city administrator from Tecumseh had just left Saline and that he was a shoo-in. I said, I haven't heard that either. So you know how all that starts. And so, I just everything transparent about this search. So that this time we don't do a search, do the interviews, turn down everybody again and, and be in this quagmire that we're at.
I've written it down so that we'll put it on the next agenda meeting for a discussion topic.
Thank you.
And with that, I think also included in that, and that's kind of why I wanted to at least start the conversation today, is do we do our own or do we look at Yo and Yo again or another group, but where that's going to be, I think that's a discussion that we're also going to need to have as a commission as well.
I just think maybe not Yo and Yo,
Well,
just my opinion.
And that's something we can definitely discuss at the next one.
and would that be maybe between now and then, if kind of everyone's in agreement, would we maybe ask our HR department in terms of if they feel that they could assist us through that process as well?
Well, and she did a lot of work with
Right.
yeah,
Right,
right.
exactly.
Because yeah, Heather has to do quite a bit of it. Even when you use a search firm, there's still a lot that our HR director has to do as well. All right, moving on to the consent.
Well, excuse me. I thought Matt and I had a couple more questions on the agenda you were supposed to talk about. One is, when are we going to update the employee handbook from 1986?
So that is diligently being worked on. Obviously, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. A lot of the policies and procedures have been done already and they've been done for a while. So it is a work in progress.
I'd like to have it done within 30 days. And also, the question was, we spent $1 million to Manick and Smith, and what was the money used for?
So Manick and Smith has been our contract engineer now for probably 7, 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years. So they do a lot of design work, road design work. They did a lot of work on my sewer project that's on the agenda tonight for the design on that, the wastewater system upgrades. So a lot of that was of that money spent in the last year or so. Several street projects. They worked on part of the downtown, the Winter Street walk and bike loop. They did some work on that. I believe did they work on Town Square as well? Okay, no, they did not. So those are just some of the examples of the work that they've done.
Could this be done in-house, like when Jack Lemon was the engineer? We had an engineer department that had an engineering that had its own stamps. Are we doing this because we do not have an engineer that the stamp permits?
I think that's hard to say. I know from the utilities perspective, we haven't had an engineer in a while. And typically from my perspective on especially plant upgrades and system improvements like that, we've always contracted with an outside firm. In the past, we used Jones and Henry for our wastewater upgrades. Back in the 2000s at the water treatment plant, I believe they used Arcadis was one of the companies they used. So typically on projects like that, we do contract that out to a larger firm just because they can handle the work. One person, isn't necessarily an expert in everything. So, but in terms of the street construction, we also use them for water main design work and survey work. We used Associated Engineers before they merged with Manick Smith Group. So we've been using them for many, many years. So I can't say that that's the biggest reason why, no.
When's the last time you put this out for bid?
Last year, I believe. It was renewed last year.
And that's my fault that he didn't have it on there. Poor, our city administrator was, trying to move his son during the middle of an agenda meeting and was trying to do two things at once. And so I was in charge of making sure he hit all the points and I accidentally missed it and skipped him right down. So that's my fault. May I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda? So moved.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Roberts with a second from Commissioner Cheshire. Roll call, please. Commissioner Zeit? Yes. Commissioner Banky?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire?
Yes.
Mayor Heath? Yes. Commissioner Roberts? Yes. Motion carried. Moving on to the regular agenda, under ordinances, ordinance number 26-003 is a first reading and introduction of an ordinance to amend the zoning code of the city of Adrian by amending several sections of chapter 106 as attached in relation to flags and signage. This is a first reading only. Moving on to ordinance number 26-004. It is a first reading and introduction of an ordinance to amend the City of Adrian Code to add sections 74 through 178 through 74-193 to Chapter 74, Article 5, Stormwater Utility. This is a first reading only.
We go back to flags because I know we have the chair of the committee here. So if there's any questions, I think it's a good time to ask Mike that here in the first reading. And I appreciate the opportunity, having spoken to Dan before he left in relation to this, and then also with Mike and the adjustments that were made from the previous proposal to this.
I don't have any questions, but I do like I think it's more clear so thank you, Mike, for taking care of my concerns and the amount of time flags could be up. It wasn't open-ended. I think you captured at least my concerns about that, so I appreciate that.
I would just like some clarification. I think that when we talk about flags, the Kiwanis flags come to mind because they're on the boulevard. And the height and storage of the flags, do we grandfather those in that are already there? Because you have, as Commissioner Banky sent out pictures of Adrian High School and their flag doesn't meet the requirements. That's been used for I don't know how many years. And Bob Evans has been used for, and he cited a bank on South Main. What are we going to do with those? And in my neighborhood alone, I've got 4 houses that have flagpoles that they put up. One a gentleman had a Marine and he's got a flagpole up. He's got the, American flagpole up. And then he's got the state of Michigan flagpole up. And so I think that residential and commercial, I want to make sure that those people that already have them can continue to have them, be grandfathered in. And I would appreciate that the Kiwanis can still put their flags on the boulevard because we know that that's not property for a flag. And so those are the concerns I would like to make, and maybe Mike can address that or not, or if you don't want to, that's fine with me too. Or Tiffany, she's on that. She could.
And Mike's a Kiwanis member.
If I may, I would be glad to. As I hope you noticed with the cover memo that I sent you the first of last month, there is nothing in this proposal that regulates flags, with the exception that they are not permitted to be attached to a tree or to a utility pole, and that a freestanding flagpole is limited in height to the maximum height of a building in that district. In which case, I believe all the ones you're referring to are probably compliant.
I would, Bob Evans, that's kind of a high flag.
It's also in the commercial district where I think the highest building can be something like 40 feet. So
that's okay. And then the yard signs. I was concerned about yard signs.
there's nothing in this proposal covering yard signs.
And that's my concern, because if we don't have a limit on yard signs.
They are covered in the original ordinance that that the commission passed last September.
And there wasn't a limit on that, correct?
There is not a number of signs, but there is a square footage limit.
Because my concern is, living next to somebody and all of a sudden my neighbor's mad at me for some reason.
Yep.
And I happen to be Catholic. And so if they put out signs it's free speech. They can put out signs
Yep.
about Catholics worship,
Mhm.
they don't care about America because they worship a pope and, those types of things. So they're kind of a derogatory statement towards Catholics. and that makes people unsafe. Can everybody hear me or am I too far away? So I want people to feel welcomed in this town. All people to feel welcome in the town. I just want to make sure that we're clear that no matter what they have, we have to be careful to make all our citizens feel safe with whom they are. And not to be bothered by signs that you could, basically hurt. Yeah,
Generally, the general consensus from the courts is that local sign regulations cannot regulate content.
no, freedom of speech is there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but I'm
Well,
saying, but. can
then
we
I'm kind
regulate-
of missing what you
What
are
if they
saying.
Put 30 of them up.
The ordinance commission passed last September limits the number of yard signs by square footage.
Okay,
Now,
what-
can I quote that right now? No, I cannot.
Uh,
But it's something like you can't have more than 12 square feet of yard signs. My number may not be correct, but it's something like that. So
And that's what I'm concerned about. What is that square footage? And
Yep.
how do we
it's
regulate?
in the ordinance.
I just have a general question. Was this changes driven by our citizens or was this change driven by somebody in City Hall?
The only thing in here that was driven, mostly this is just cleaning up some issues. Commissioner Moore, for example, in fact, the perfect example is the one about scrolling electronic messages that either scroll or move or give the impression of moving, which the ordinance that the commission passed that September prohibited those. But it was lax in not saying how long they have to remain static, so it was difficult to enforce. In fact, it was impossible to enforce without that piece of information in there.
And didn't this come about just because you were overhauling the zoning ordinance and
Well-
like taking out things that, I mean, you were cleaning up the language of it?
As I told you last fall, or as I told the commission that was here last fall, that's 300 pages of fairly fine text. We will be bound to find either omissions, slight errors, inconsistencies. This is to clean those up.
And in my conversation with Dan, I think one of the issues related to the flags was he received a phone call from a developer asking the question, how tall can a flagpole be? And that wasn't defined in the ordinance. So the alignment now of this being as high as the highest structure within that zoning category is identified.
Well, I think that when you look in neighborhoods, at least in our neighborhood, the flagpoles are higher than their houses.
But those houses may not be as high as they're permitted to be.
So I want people to understand that they're guaranteed that if they've had these flagpoles, they're grandfathered in. I mean, it's nothing new.
Commissioner Shorts, I do not do enforcement, so I cannot make any guarantees.
Okay, and we haven't, and needless to say, we have trouble with enforcing and things like that right now because of the lack of personnel.
Mhm.
So that's a concern that I have. And I also feel that I've lived in that neighborhood for 30 years and these flags have been up, I would say, at least 20 to 25
Mhm.
years. And now all of a sudden they're an inch too high. That's concerns that I have.
From our city attorney, is there a grandfather clause for changes to this, or would that be impact?
All zoning has grandfather.
That,
Regulatory does not.
so that answers our question. Concern.
Anything else, folks?
Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much. Are we okay to move on? Any other questions? All right. I'm going to go to the consent agenda resolutions first. That got moved over to the regular agenda. So CR 26-107 is from engineering. It is a resolution to authorize the purchase of a Toro 6000 series zero-turn mower through the Sourcewell Government Procurement Program. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Support.
All right. Is there any discussion or questions on this?
Yes, I have a question and a statement and a quote from a local Toro business in the city of Adrian. I was looking at this and I noticed the firm that we're on the agenda tonight is based in Ohio. We have a Toro dealer, Gallant and Son, in the city of Adrian. I asked her today, did she get a phone call or a request to quote? She said she did. It was like, I don't know, July 8th or somewhere around that time. And she said she would get some numbers to the individual. I'm not sure who the person was, but she got the information. And Mrs. Gallant, I'm not sure if anybody knows who she is, third generation dealer. I mean, when I moved to Adrian in 1986, I bought my first lawnmower there. She's been paying taxes in the family many, many years. And I asked her to provide a quote for us tonight for the same exact model. And so I would like to present this quote from Gallant and Son for the same model and everything. Because I believe the number right now, you said it got the best deal, was it 17,800 and something?
It's, yeah, in the resolution, it looks like 17,616.
Okay, Gallant and Son can provide the same mower for $15,897.21. So I would like to include this bid instead of the other one for the purchase of this mower.
Can you talk us through the bidding process, Matt?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. So this process, it was not bid out through our City of Adrian bid process. It was bid through Sourcewell, which they take bids through out nationwide. And certain companies have the Sourcewell accreditation to be able to do so. We actually reached out to Gallant and they told us that they were not able to provide that type of mower for as little of a cost as we got this price for. And that was just a couple days ago.
And who'd you talk to over at Gallant and Son?
I believe it was Ms. Gallant herself.
Well, that seems strange to me because she remembers getting the information and writing it down and said she was going to talk to her marketing rep and get numbers back.
Yeah, that's very strange. We went into the office and she told us to our face that we were not able to provide that type of mower for that price. So I will look into that.
Well, I'm just curious because I like to put Adrian businesses first.
Sure,
I mean, I didn't see any other written bids or whatever. And so I just was curious because I bought many mowers there and they were a Toro dealer. And I know she's old.
Yeah.
I mean, she's up there, but she's
So
still,
there might have been some miscommunication.
so that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So do we want to not act on this or table it or allow Matt to follow up?
Yeah, if I could follow up on that, if we go with this new bid, we will have to bid it out because it was not through the Sourcewell process. So it would be through the Adrian process at that point. So I would
make a motion to do not bid this out. We go with this bid.
No.
I don't,
No, that's not how, I don't believe that's how it works.
You have a motion on the floor.
Yep.
If you want to table it, someone can make a motion to table it, or you can vote on the motion. Those are your two options.
I motion to table this item.
Why can't we amend this motion?
You can have someone in the motion.
I'd like to amend this motion. This is.
Yeah, I thought so. That's, we still have to, so this would be tabling it so that he could bid it out through the city of through our bidding process, because we have to bid it out. Does that make sense? So that's why they're saying table it, because I thought we had to, per the charter, we had to bid it out. Because this wouldn't be bidding it out then, if we just went with them.
Unless you vote to waive the bid process.
I'll make a motion to avoid the bid process for this particular mower too.
My concern is we've already thrown numbers out. If we put it out for the bid process, people are going to know what we're bidding it for. So it's catch 22 if we put it out for bid. And one thing I'd like to make sure, is it the mower?
Right.
I mean,
That's what I
think
need to figure out.
That's what I'd like to figure out, because if she says she can get us the exact same mower, I'd rather have a person in the city doing business in the city get that bid. But, everybody else, if we put it out for everybody, can come in $20 cheaper. And because our policy is go with the cheapest bidder for the same thing. That's a concern that I have.
I will guarantee this is the same mower, and if it's overpriced, I'll pay the difference.
I don't know what got said now. Now I can't remember where we were. I know.
Mhm.
Well, the first motion did have a second, but to table it did not, and the motion to waive the bid process and go with Gallant and Son did not have a second either. So that's what I need a second on one of those, if that's what we're doing.
I would second the motion to waive the bid process and make sure it's the same mower, and then award the bid to Gallant and Sons. Because is that an amendment to an amendment? So
You're only voting on whether to amend the motion at all. You're not voting on whether to do what the motion says. So you're just voting first to amend the motion, the original motion.
Okay, so I have a motion to amend the resolution from Commissioner Moore with a second from Commissioner Schwartz. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Schwartz,
yes,
Commissioner Cheshire,
Sorry, I have a question.
Just to amend it.
Amend it
not-
to what? Like,
Amend it to waive the bid process and purchase the mower from Gallant and Sons.
okay, and that has nothing to do with like the follow-up that Commissioner Schwartz. Okay, okay. Yes,
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts? No. Commissioner Zeit? Yes. Commissioner Banky?
No.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes,
Motion carried.
So now we're gonna vote on the motion. Am I gonna keep the same number? Do I give it a different? Okay. CR 26-107 from engineering, a resolution to go with Gallant and Son for the purchase of a Toro 6000 series lawnmower
And waive the bid process.
and waive the bid process. May I get a motion?
so moved.
support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Moore with a second from Commissioner Schwartz. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cheshire?
yes.
Mayor
Good.
Heath?
Wait, we have discussion.
Yes, we can have discussion, sorry.
This is a very slippery slope, just letting everyone know. This is one thing that years ago, when I was on this commission, we were doing quite often. And it's not a good look. I'm just saying that to change things in the middle like this. I'm not saying anything against Gallant and Sons, nothing, or against using local businesses. Absolutely, absolutely, if we can. I'm just saying the process should be followed. If they had the opportunity to bid on this exact series of mower, they could have. And for whatever reason, they chose not to, or they didn't come in at a lower bid, or they're not part of that procurement program. So it's a very slippery slope on changing how we use our charter.
And I would echo in terms of, we're hearing conversations about how much money we're saving with various positions and making sure that we're trying to recapture money in regards to this $500,000 associated with property sales. But it doesn't matter in this case what the lowest bid would be, because we're saying there isn't going to be a lower bid. We're just saying this is the bid. And regardless of that, we're going to take this amount when there could be a lower bid. And there could be another opportunity for somebody local to bid on that as well.
And I'm just going to say, as I said before, the numbers are out there. So we sent it out for another bid. You might get one for $5 less, $6 less, $7 less. It's going to be out there. Commissioner Moore did some research. He went and he talked to people. He found things out. I think that's due diligence as a commission member to go and to look at things and to see what's happening. And one of the reasons I'm talking about one of the other agenda items to pull off, because I want to make sure we're doing it right this time. So I can see that this is just not a quick slippery slope. It was investigated. They were talked to. That's why I think that we make sure it's the exact same mower and it's at that cheaper price without going through a whole nother bid process.
And I would like to add, I mean, was this not written out via email or a dissent report, or it was a phone call? How did you contact Gallant and Son?
I believe it was a phone call and an in-person visit.
Okay, because was there a timetable when she was supposed to get the bid back from you? Did you mention it to her?
We had called multiple times last week, and that's why the in-person visit happened, so we could get the information before it came to the commission. So we never got the information in time.
Okay. For other city commissioners that are concerned about the process, just for the record, she's the only Coral dealership in the city of Adrian that can procure this piece of equipment. So, and I will personally guarantee that this will be the same price, and it's the right mower for the city of Adrian.
This just brings a question of like transparency, since it was just brought to us at the meeting and put in front of our face right now. I mean, that's not transparent to anyone, and okay, yeah.
I guess again, I go back to concerns that now any future bid process where we have an amount that's out there that's set, that commissioner can come up with a receipt with somebody and say this is the amount. And then now, because of the process and the number being out there, we won't go through the bid process.
I will always stand up for local businesses in the city of Adrian.
Let's take our emotions out of it and let's do some thoughtful thinking. When we do this, we have information. And yes, is this information that we just got today? I agree, Commissioner. But we have this information. So if we table this and we get this renewed and send it out for bid, we're going to get a plethora of those. So do we want to wait that long? Do we want to give people an upper hand on bids from now on? Do we want to waste taxpayer money when we can get something $2,000 cheaper? That's been researched, and Commissioner Moore's looked into it. The lady said she can do it. That's a balance. What do we want to do? Do we want to save money or do we not want to save money? Do we want to just go because of past practice and what we do. And, you know, the bid process to me, and it's a personal opinion, when we take low bidder, we get low bidder work quite often. And we have a chance for somebody in the city who's been paying, who I would assume they're still going to be here, to sell us something and bring goodwill to the city. And I just hope that we just take patience, we think about it, take our emotions out of it between commissioners and everybody else, and do a sound judgment on this decision, whether it be to just table it until Matt has the time to go and talk to her again and see what we get and what information there is. But it's important that we just don't make knee-jerk decisions out of motion. We do that too often as this commission. It's time that we started working together and finding things that are a compromise. It's time that things are dialogue, not arguments. It's let's discuss, let's mediate, let's work together, please. I mean, we can't even get a city administrator. I mean, I'm just going to say we have a very dysfunctional commission right now. That we hold turf and we listen, but we don't listen to understand. We listen to hear, to rebut. Let's just take some time, give it some thought, and what may be the best path.
If we were to table it, how would that even look? I'm asking our city attorney, sorry.
You don't have to put it out to bid. You have that source is an approved site that the commission has approved to use. It's a matter of giving Matt an opportunity. It sounds like giving Matt an opportunity to make sure it's the same mower. But you're right. If you follow the bid process, you've got to put it out.
Right.
And all the bids are exposed at this point.
Angela, also for the record, I would like to let people know, even though I'm in the insurance business, she is not a client of mine. She's just a businesswoman.
So what does the current motion state again, please?
The current motion is to go with Gallant and Son and waive the bid process. That is the current motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
If that does not pass, can there be another motion made to table it? I'm asking our city attorney.
Well, you can't motion to table it because it's over. You can
That's
put it
why
on-
I'm asking you that.
You can put it on a future agenda, or you can always make a motion. This is a regularly scheduled meeting. Everyone is present. You can make any motion you want. So yes, you can make a second motion, but understand there's no tabling because once you vote,
Okay.
this is over.
Because I don't. Hearing that Matt did his due diligence and went in to meet and did not get this quote, and maybe it was just she didn't understand the timeline or whatever it might be, but I don't feel comfortable until I know what is the exact mower that they were looking at. And I do want to support local. I believe in supporting local. But there's also like parameters of when things need to be in, and you're using a reputable, procurement process for these bids. It's not just you. You already said it was Sourcewell that, did this, and that you even followed up and went out and made sure the local person was aware that it was due, and you were really trying to do that due diligence. I would like to save the city money, but I want to make sure I just can't vote yes on this. I would like to see it tabled because I want to make sure this is the correct mower and that that is all verified.
So my personal guarantee is not warranted.
Well, maybe she can't get that mower. Yeah, I mean, we don't know because of what it is. That's where I'm
She told
going.
me she can get the mower. So I'm just saying that I talked to her personally today, like for the bidding process in the future. Well, I only get this information Friday night. from the city packet, what's going on and what's being bidded out. So I guess in the future, Matt, I'm not blaming you how the situation is, but maybe you could put more notes in the bidding process. You talk to a local business person, what they said first, because I didn't see anything. So I just assume there was no contact. Because I didn't see anything in this packet that we received on Friday night.
And I guess does this just mean now, we had a long discussion about our role as being policy, and this doesn't seem like a policy role.
Yep.
Well, I'm not quite sure about that. We talk about our roles being policy, and as a commission, I know that that's been broken several times about contacting department heads directly and asking people to do things and reaching out to people and things like that. So if we're going to hold ourselves to policy, let's hold ourselves to all policy, not pick and choose which ones we're going to follow. And I'm going to say that if we're going to hold ourselves to policy, maybe we should review this policy, because we ran into it last time with the fee estate in the bidding. And that was a quagmire that was not good. So maybe when we talk about policy, let's talk about all kinds of policy. And that we move on with policy from there, because we just can't pick and choose what policies we're going to follow and which ones we're not.
Right.
So the defendant has said, this isn't policy. There's policies that were not being followed by commissioners quite often.
So I have a motion out there right now, with a second to waive the bid process and to give it to Gallant and Son. Are we ready to vote? on
With a
that?
guarantee from Commissioner Moore.
So are we ready to vote on that? Okay, roll call, please. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If I withdraw my second and change it to make sure that it is the exact same mower at a lower price, Bert, come on, you're gonna earn your money tonight.
It's a new motion, and it would be a motion to amend the amended motion.
So how many amendments can we make, Bert?
As many as you want. As many as you can get votes for.
But I think it's important that we find out if it is the exact mow. And because it's important that we show loyalty to the people in the city of Adrian that can provide a service cheaper.
So you're giving us a motion for what? To amend the amended motion?
To amend the amended motion. No, I'm just saying that if I'm asking for permission, could I amend it that we wait until we can make sure we get the exact same, the mower is the exact same mower that Commissioner Moore took his time to go see and speak with it, and to make sure that it's okay, that would save the city money.
And can I ask for a clarification? So what I'm hearing you say is you would like staff, Matt, to follow up with Gallant and Sons to go with the proposal that was presented to us tonight from the procurement or Sourcewell, and ask Mrs. Gallant if they can have that exact same one, and then report back to us at the next meeting for consideration.
Yes, I'm saying the exact same one in the exact same price.
I'll second that.
So, oh, wise Commissioner Collins mouths to me, motion to clear the floor. It's probably in order. If someone can make a motion to clear the floor with a second, and then let's start over and do a clean motion.
Thank you.
So that we can all understand what you guys are voting on.
So may I
So-
get a motion to clear Schwartz?
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Schwartz with a second from Commissioner Cheshire. Roll call, please, to clear the floor.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts. Yes. Commissioner Zeik,
Yes.
Commissioner Banky,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So now I can entertain a motion to,
Just Just let somebody make a motion.
There you go. Thanks.
I make that motion
What motion's that?
that we send Matt back to Gallant and Sons to make sure it's the exact same mower at the exact same price. And and to make sure that's exactly what we're looking for. And then if that's true, that we move to buy it from Gallant and Sons.
I'll second.
And waive the bid process.
Waive it. Waive it.
I'll second that too.
All right, so I am not repeating the whole thing. I was trying to write as fast as I could. We have a motion from Commissioner Schwartz with a second from Commissioner Moore to send Matt Tomaseski back to Gallant and Son and verify that it is the same mower and it is for the price that she quoted giving us, and waive the bid process. Roll call, please. Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Zeit,
Yes.
Commissioner Banky,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Yes.
Mayor Heath. Yes, motion carried. CR 26-110 is from administration. It is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a letter of support for the River Raisin Ragtime Review's application for funding from the Consumers Energy Foundation. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions on this?
I would like to just offer that I am on the board of the River Raisin Ragtime Review, first of all, and that I did not know that this request was coming to our mayor. I will recuse myself. I have no monetary interest in R4. But if any of the board members would like for me not to vote on this, I certainly will step back if you would like me to.
I just think Commissioner Roberts, that's a very good idea. I think that being on the board
Certainly, no problem.
leaves
Yep.
that. And I know it's not costing the city money or anything, but I think that's good that you're going to recuse yourself from that role.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have a question to the city attorney.
Hold on, you have to
Oh.
make a motion to recuse yourself and the commission has to vote on it.
Oh,
It doesn't have to be a roll call, but it needs to be a majority.
okay. Can I make the motion? I'll make the motion to recuse myself for the R4 vote.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion is approved to recuse Commissioner Roberts from this vote.
I just have a question for the city attorney on this, because we're not mentioned, the city commission is not mentioned in the letter. Is the mayor prerogative to support ragtime? There's no city financial aid in there. This is just a written letter. According to my research, the commission does not have to vote on this because she is the mayor and can act on this alone. I just wonder what the city attorney thinks.
Well, the mayor of the city of Adrian is a ceremonial position. It is not, she does not have the authority to speak for the commission as a whole. And when you are putting forth support of someone receiving funds, whether they're receiving funds from the city or not, it is the commission's decision on whether to support that. And if you do not support it, then the mayor should not support this, the ragtime review request. But the mayor is not the president, so to speak.
Well, she has her First Amendment right though, too. And I'm
And
just
she
wondering,
can do it as an individual citizen, but not
well,
as
I'm
the
just
mayor.
curious with the information I gave you this morning, is that, I was just curious what that meant that I sent you.
Well, I don't, what are you talking about?
I sent you a text.
I saw the text.
Okay.
It just said exactly what it said, that the mayor was ceremonial.
No, it said that it didn't need to be approved by the city commission
Oh,
based on the city charter.
I'm
Because
telling
of
you,
past experience, what's going on for certain things is it didn't include financials. We're not putting any money.
the mayor does not speak for the entire commission without the commission's approval.
And when they approached me, they were asking for that, and I immediately Senate and said this needs to go on the next agenda because that's been the protocol that if anybody comes to me asking for support in my position, that just like the city attorney said, and I sent that right on, that this needs to be on the agenda for that reason. Because I'm not allowed to, or I shouldn't be, ever giving support just to something without commission approval. Even if it's something we're not financially investing in.
Then I believe in future reference, when you give your support, it should also show the commission too, then, not just the mayor. Because we're giving support, so we might as well get credit too.
So I have a motion from Commissioner Schwartz with a second from Commissioner Moore. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Banky,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Recuse?
oh, sorry, Commissioner Zeik,
Yes.
motion carried.
Let's just say.
CR 26-111 is from the assessor. It is a resolution to authorize the acting city administrator to prepare and issue a request for proposals for the sale of city-owned property located within the Spring Street, Alice Street block. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Support.
Are there any commissioner questions or discussion on this?
I would not like to get caught with the fee estate bid. And how are we going to get it out to everybody so that we can get requests for proposals? So that's clear because we had some issues with the fee estate, and I want to make sure that we're open and communicating to all the realtors in the city of Adrian to make sure that they have the opportunity to do that. I know we have the.
Matt, aren't these are abandoned? They're not full lots, is that right?
I believe this one specifically is for Spring Street, which is landlocked by a bunch of homes. So we would probably reach out to the homes that are affected by it.
Right, so you can only sell this property to an adjacent property owner because it's landlocked and it's not alienable. So you can't just sell it to anybody.
So there's not an easement there.
That's
No,
correct.
that's correct.
Okay.
This was city property that's been abandoned, right?
Yes,
That's over an acre, I thought.
I believe so.
So if somebody wanted to, they could tear a house down and build back there then, have the easement. They want to buy a local house along there since it's landlocked.
If they got an easement from,
Yeah,
No, if they bought a house, they could tear down the house there, one of them buy there, and then just build back there if they wanted to.
as long as it meets all zoning
that would
regulations.
go with the adjacent property owners only. You couldn't buy the property is what I'm telling you. You would have to be an adjacent property owner to buy that property.
Well, why don't we be a good citizens and just donate it since we're not, we have to pay, we're paying
Well,
for it right
I
now.
think there's more than one person. I don't think it's some large amount of money. What I'm telling you is Matt has already done the research on this. We discussed it. And that's what he wants to send out, let the adjacent property owners know if someone wants to purchase it, we would like to, we don't need it anymore. So no one's trying to make a bunch of money off of it.
Right.
And I appreciate that clarity because I just didn't want to get in that mess.
Or the owners could turn it into a HOA self-park then for themselves then, right? If they wanted to with the size for the 8 or 10 houses surrounding it.
They would have to comply with local zoning ordinances. And I don't believe that does.
What, if they all have their own park back there?
What's that?
Have a park behind their yard?
I don't believe they can put up other residential units in that.
No, I'm talking about a park. They bought, only the people that surround the land, my understanding is able to bid on it, right?
That's correct.
So if they wanted to, that 10 houses or so, they could form an HOA and make it a park for themselves.
That would be something they'd have to talk to the planning commission about to get approval. Matt doesn't know the answer. It's
Sorry, man,
in our zoning ordinance.
You're right.
I'm sorry, Paul.
You're right.
We have a motion from Commissioner Schwartz with a second from Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts,
Yes.
Commissioner Zeit,
Yes.
Commissioner Banky.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution R 26-061 is from Fire. It is a resolution to authorize the fire chief to purchase the demonstration Paratech lifting airbag system and to waive the bid process based upon the sole source nature of the purchase. May I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Support.
Any commissioner questions or discussion? We have a motion from Commissioner Banky with a second from Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire.
Yes.
Mayor Heath,
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts.
Yes.
Commissioner Zeit,
Yes.
Commissioner Banky.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'm going to ask our city attorney another question. I'm sorry, Burke. Can we have a discussion since these two resolutions, one is with the fire pits and the other design is without the fire pits? Can we have the discussion ahead of it? Or do we need to read off the resolution and then have that
I
discussion?
just think someone should make a motion and second one of the two. And
Okay.
then you can have a discussion and
Thank you.
we can change if we need to.
All right, so choose one if you want to make a motion.
I move that we move forward with resolution 26-063.
I second that.
And what that resolution is for everybody in the audience is a resolution to approve and support the revised Town Square project contingent upon Lenawee Now receiving the remainder of the funding for the enhancement grant. This design does not include the fire pits. Any discussion?
Are you
or-
ready, Matt?
I would like to make note, there was a discrepancy on the resolution. The total amount is incorrect. So that total amount should read $2,756,623.41. That is the engineer's estimate.
What's the price?
For the one without the fire pits?
Both of, sorry, that was with the fire pits.
That's with.
Yes. So without, that was,
Like $30,000.
Yes, yeah.
Something.
I think it was 26,000 total.
I will say, oh, sorry. I did, Matt happened to be nearby and brought it up to me about the fire pits and asked where I was on that, just kind of questioning me. And you know, there's been a lot of people in the public that really want to see the fire pits and, I was nervous about it before due to safety features and, I did ask Matt that question, if there was a way that we can put, because I've seen it before where you can put, it's almost, I know it's not plexiglass, but I'm just going to call it plexiglass, where you can put that up around it as a feature so they can't put their hand in it. And he said that is definitely doable with this. And it made me definitely more inclined to be okay with the fire pits. Also, I know that Matt also said that there would be a timer on it, like that it wouldn't be on all night. So it's not like somebody's going to be drunk leaving the bar and running into it and falling, because it'll literally turn off after a certain amount of time. I know there still could be liability and still could be things of people getting hurt, but as Matt has pointed out to me, there's a lot of places that have these all over, especially up north where it's really cold and they have them on a lot more than we would even probably have them on. And you don't really see that happening. People are responsible. And, you know, I'm definitely okay now if we do have the barriers for the children not putting their hands into it. I'm just putting that out there. I know that is not what this resolution, this one was to not include the fire pits, but I just was putting that out there.
To me, the residents that had reached out to me after we had originally thought that without the fire pits was the best. When they reached out to me, they were very disappointed because the fire pits were kind of the main thing that they were excited about with Town Square. I agree safety is an issue, but does Adrian College have fire pits
They,
currently?
they do. They have, I believe, 2, if not more.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
If Adrian College has fire pits currently, and yes, they do. So that makes me feel a little bit better about the safety issue as well as what the mayor said. And that is probably one of the only reasons some people would go to Town Square.
I have we had a very generous gift of $1 million to Town Square. And we changed the plans on what the people asked us to do. We lost $750,000 in that gift. I think we got the initial payment. If the fire pits were part of that, is there a chance that as an olive branch, we could say, we appreciate this, we thought about it, bring that back to get the additional, just reach out in some way to that family foundation to see if they'd be interested.
If we left the fire pits, would they be interested in giving us the
I'm just saying,
750?
yeah, I'm just saying, is it worth an attempt to do that, or would that take too long and we can't get Town Square done?
Doesn't hurt to ask.
So the current resolution that we'll be voting on is the resolution to approve and support the revised Town Square project contingent upon Lenawee Now receiving the remainder of the funding for the enhancement grant, and this design does not include the fire pits. We have a motion from Commissioner Banky with a second from Commissioner Roberts. Roll call, please.
So just to be clear, if you want fire pits, you vote no.
Yep. Commissioner Cheshire?
No.
Mayor Heath? No. Commissioner Roberts?
Yes, I don't know that I.
Commissioner Zeig?
No.
Commissioner Banky?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
No.
Commissioner Schwartz?
No.
Motion failed. So we'll go back to resolution R 26-062. This is the resolution to approve and support the revised Town Square project contingent upon Lenawee Now receiving the remainder of the funding for the enhancement grant. And this design does include fire pits.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? Or questions? We have a motion from Commissioner Cheshire with a second from Commissioner Moore. Roll call, please.
Mayor Heath?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeig?
Yes.
Commissioner Banky?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Commissioner Cheshire?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you for your work on that, Matt. It was greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
We have miscellaneous reports in your packet. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, at this time, it is now public comment. We will start inside the city chambers first. This is general public comment, so it does not have to be something that was on the agenda for this evening. Just to remind you, there is a 3-minute time limit, and for the record, please state your name and place of residence. When we have exhausted all public comment inside the chambers, we will then open it up to the Zoom participants. We will begin inside the chambers now.
I'm Fall Haber, 419 Budlong Street. I came down to pay some compliments to some city employees. I came right from work. I didn't want to miss the opportunity. I wasn't able to get out of work quick enough last meeting, but we got a lot of city employees I could really compliment because we got some good people working for the city that probably don't get appreciated like they should. And there's a couple of newer code enforcement officers. I'm not sure that's their proper title. Their names are Sherry Verardi and Paul Ramirez. And I've been a landlord in this city for 55 years and long time. And I just, not 55, 45, making myself 10 years older. But anyway, I have I've had a lot of rental property over the years, and I've always kept my places nice. And in past years, my complaints about some of the code enforcement issues here have been not addressed very well over the years, the last 20, 25, whatever years that we've had a code enforcement program here. But these two ladies, I'm telling you, when I call about something, things are done quickly. I'm wondering why this couldn't have been done over the last 20, 30 years. These ladies are really getting the job done. They deserve a lot of credit, and I hope that they're not stifled in their efforts to really clean this place up because they're if you saw what I've talked to them about and what's getting done, it's amazing. It's not weeks or years, it's days, a day or two, it's already happening. This is amazing. And I also want to compliment about the water quality getting better. Mr. Sadler, I appreciate that, Will. Another thing is the US 223 and Division Street project, that three-phase turn signals there, the traffic signals. I started the project in 2017 when I was still sitting there as a city commissioner, never dreaming, well, 9 years later, we finally get it done. Several things were said had to be done to bring that to fruition. They were done years ago. This shows you the poor leadership in this state of Michigan and the Michigan Department of Transportation. I've been working with them on highway issues since I was a teenager in the late 60s, early 70s, a long time ago. And it's amazing. I know Mr. Tomasewski's done what he can to get it move forward. But anyway, it's nice to actually see that go back online, come online. I believe it was Thursday or Friday, and I drove through it and I enjoyed it too, because it was just a lot of 9 years of work finally bearing fruit. So anyway, thank you.
I'd like to ask Chip
Please
Moore,
state your name
Oh.
and your place of residence.
Larry Heath, City of Adrian. When you talked to Mrs. Gallant there, did you tell her what the bid was from there, show her any paperwork? I'm gonna say if you did, then her bid wouldn't be any good.
Catherine Ring, City of Adrian. After spending last week dialoguing with former city employees regarding their past experiences, I come here to convey this message. For those of you that don't know, I have my undergrad in social work and my MSW. And so with working in a therapeutic space, we know that clients' healing is directly proportionate to the level of truth they can hear about themselves without running away. If the city of Adrian is to win again, we must get honest about our challenges. How much truth are we willing to sit in? My question is, who holds who accountable? It seems the truth tellers are looked at as disruptors and low performers are promoted. In the imbalance, opportunities to gain traction are missed, progress isn't made, and it's progress we desperately need. This is the way it's always been, is no longer a sufficient answer. Good enough is no longer the standard. It's a complicated system. Isn't going to be accepted as a proper response anymore. Truth is, we are raising the standard, not to dominate, not to control, because less than and lack is not our portion. There are budget issues. Can the CFO enter the chat? And can we stop hiring assistants and investigate why the work isn't being accomplished? We need to get specific numbers on how much we're actually saving. If there are known underperformers, how do we support them? And for those who choose to not be a part of the solution, when do we part ways with them? Unfortunately, lust, perversion, intimidation, control, and fear can no longer be allowed at City Hall. Who am I to say this? Just a girl with a loud voice. Jesus made me that way. Who knows she can make a large impact because many are actually beside me. To say, no more to dysfunction. To the men and women in this community who are called to lead, the time is upon you. These issues will not go away overnight, but one thing I do know is that if we walk in unity, anything is possible. It'll take laying down agendas, dysfunction, pride, and conspiracy theories. And I'm gonna stretch all you guys, even the ones about rich people with sticky fingers. It'll actually take working with those who are blessed financially, who live in this community, choose this community, and have big business in this community. Because the rich people want to see Adrian win too.
Your time is up. Sorry, the time was acting weird. I was watching it. Is it up? I've never seen it go negative. Okay, sorry about that.
It's up.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
It must be getting good then.
How y'all doing? My name is Jalen Tatum. I'm homeless right now.
Come up to the microphone, please, so everybody can hear you.
Okay. My name is Jalen Tatum. I live in Adrian. I'm homeless right now. I just wanted to tell y'all about my day and how it can be beneficial for y'all and your faith. But I woke up this morning, played my trombone that someone gave me, and I basically said the kingdom was coming. That's how I try to start my morning every day. Then I went to those roosters that y'all that's over there by the Adrian Market, and was hitting with my staff over there, and because I don't agree with idolatry. So afterwards, I talked to my disciple, and I was telling them about the how Jesus is the law in the flesh, or the commands made flesh, word made manifest, and that if a bull gores a man or maid serving a male servant to death, then the person who owns it must pay 30 shekels. He was that bull that gored the Pharisees and Sadducees. That's why he was killed for 30 pieces of silver. Afterward, I told him about if you build a house, you must build a parapet next to it just in case if someone falls, they don't die. He's that parapet that he's the parapet that catches us just in case we fall and we come to not. Then if two men are fighting, then and a wife of one of the men comes and grabs the others by the privates, then her hand was to be cut off in the scriptures. And he overcame that by allowing him, like when he says, someone slaps you on the cheek, turn to another. He took that hand and made it whole so that that doesn't have to happen anymore. So afterwards, I took about a 5-hour journey to Madison Township and preached the kingdom of God to people house to house, going around giving people the new Jerusalem, the new earth that's to come, giving people the gospel, the words of life that I've learned to do. And so I felt it beneficial to come here and talk to y'all today like I've done last time and was meaning to do a couple of weeks ago. But just being faithful and trying to lead people to repentance.
I'm gonna try again. Okay. My name is Michelle Taylor and I live at 712 North Locust Street in Adrian. Okay, I did have a lot of things on the agenda and then my own stuff. So are they separate or together?
Together.
Oh, they're together. Okay, so real quickly then, I have some suggestions for our site plan applications. On there, when I pulled it up, I knew that I looked at it, and with the Bitcoins and cryptocurrency mining or / data center, whatever we want to call them, I think it's kind of very important that we tighten up that application, and doing so would give us more power and shut things down much quicker and save a lot of energy. For example, I noticed, and I suggest, and I'm going to ask to have a point of in the future to work with somebody about these ideas if you like them. But importantly, I think it should include the easement plats. That's significant because it should be required with the site plan application. The site plan review requirements, Article 4, Section 4.6 in our City of Adrian's Master Plan 2022 ensures development aligns with infrastructure deficiencies, needs, and infrastructure layout, and ensures master plan density compliance. I think that would be significant. Then also to include a zoning destination for the proposed land use in accordance with the City of Adrian Master Zoning Plan complies under the zoning destination. Then they would specify that. residential district, and then they would have the destination, and I'm more targeting industrial 1-1 and 1-2. With that being said, that empowers and lets the local government use their teeth. At the local government, I don't know if you guys realize, with the data centers, you do have a very strong presence. You have teeth, which right now they're trying to pass a House bill. It's HB 4085, trying to strip you of that power. But basically, if a hyperscale cannot fit in the current master plan, in which none do, because they never existed until now. We had the model of 2019 with the regular cloud, but if they don't fit, the city of Adrian and more so the zoning commissioner is under no obligation. They're under no obligation because the
Your time is up, sorry.
wow, I have so much more. How do I do this? Under like the freedom of some kind of act? Because, yeah, that's a good one. Because they brought up something about procurement that's very problematic. It's the
And you can email us as well if you have more questions, or talk to us after too.
Got you. Thank you.
Keith Miller, City of Adrian. Nice speech. I liked it, Mr. Schwartz. Nice speech you made a little bit ago. I think the city had to make it a policy that we had to shop local first. Any and all and everything we can get local, we get it local first. If you can't get it local, then go out and outsource it or do a bid process on it. I was a business owner. If I couldn't get it local, I bought it from Michigan. If I couldn't get it out of Michigan, and it was only like 10% of the stuff that I sold, I couldn't buy that was made in Michigan. And then on another note, lock your cars. Our car got broken into last night. So lock your cars until we can find out who these hoodlums are or whatever, but thank you.
I have two things. Hi, I'm Becky Bobby and I live downtown. I've lived here for approximately 5 years. I brought my wonderful little brush to show you guys what I'd ask you, do you even want to brush your teeth for this? So I know we're working on that, but it is not going to be. Isn't it gross? It's so gross. And then I just want to point that out. But the other question I have, can someone explain to me, because I was not here when this happened, what sticky finger out influence means? And who was that about? No one on your board knows? So I don't think we should use that. If someone is, I think that we should be big enough to be respectful of other people, even though we're mad as hell. I guess that's what I'm here to support that. I'm here to talk to you about the water for sure, because living downtown, I have never had this situation. And I brush my teeth with bottled water. So I hope you guys get on that soon. And thank you for your time. Want to see my brush?
Hello, hi, my name is D'Angelo Boone, and I'm an Asian resident. I live East 610 East Maumee, and I just wanted to just talk just briefly about the tunnel on has been developed on Main Street, and my brother was involved in a car accident about 2 years ago, right in that area, and it disrupted the life of myself and my family. We're still caring for him. He's got permanent scarring. He has metal in his leg, and he used his bike to get back and forth to work. And that's how we were able to get him independent. He's also autistic. And we were able to get him independent by allowing him to travel with his bike, by being pretty, well, at least we thought the area that he was traveling was safe. And we're still caring for him. And I appreciate the tunnel being developed, because had that tunnel been developed 2 years ago, his accident may never have occurred. As a result, he won't touch a bike now. He's lost a sense of security, and we're still working to try to get him independent again. But he's terrified to be on bikes, terrified to be on roads, and even when it comes to being in vehicles. So it has had a drastic impact on his life, and I just appreciate the action that the city has taken, because we know that there have been others in our community that have been injured trying to cross that street as well. And I'm just I'm happy that that area has been addressed. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Dan Alcorta, Adrian. Adrian College also needs to have a little walk bypass, like a little beeper like they do in Ann Arbor, because they walk in front of me quite often. So that's something you guys might want to get a hold of them to figure that out. Okay, I also have the sewer system that you guys are having a problem with that's overflowing into the Raisin River. I've seen that happen. It happens right behind my shop all the time. Not all the time, just when been having major water problems, I understand. But at the same time, the sewer system in my area has been coming up and through your back drains and coming up in my office, my factory. And we want to figure out how do we want to stop that. I can probably keep calling the insurance companies and getting a bill out of it, but it's going to be repetition until we do something about it. Everything comes down into the hole. I live at 516 Michigan Avenue. It's old George Street, the old tomato canning factory. And I had a big flood last time. And I had to take out 3 bathrooms and drywall and flooring. And now I have to replace it all because this just keeps going on and on. I've asked the city already to take care of the situation, to look to it, but they haven't. And then I also have a problem with when they fixed Michigan Avenue, they had their sewer system when they were cleaning out, came down into my drain, plugged it up on the outside. I bugged them for 2 years now, and they wouldn't even come and flush it out. They tell me they have, but there's no way you could have. It just took me an hour and a half to take out the vent so they could stick the hole down there. So I'm sure they didn't do it, but they keep telling me they did. And as I come down the hill in the wintertime, I've lost a couple of sheds, fences. I don't get reported by the police. I just have to fix the damages. So I took away the wall. I've asked them to actually put a block or a guardrail. It's not for my safety. It's going to be for theirs because they're going to eventually come down and hit the ground, and they're going to keep putting the gas down, and they're going to keep running into my other wall now. So there's going to be a real big problem down that way. You guys have done great. I knew it's a new group here, and we're doing the best we can. I appreciate you guys' time tonight. Thank you.
I'm a terrible public speaker, excuse me. My name is Nancy Dermeyer and I live in Adrian. I have a couple concerns. One is I have a real hard time getting someone to answer the phone at the city hall. I think it's unfortunate. It's not welcoming. If you put a fresh eyes onto something, that would be something that's very provoking, and nobody's there. So I wish that we had some more activity there. What struck me tonight is the fire pit situation you spoke about and the safety concerns. I was here across the street at Presbyterian Church for the ragtime thing on Friday the 3rd, I believe, of July. And that night, as you know, lots of activity happened, accidents. The police were not available. Generally speaking, they were just getting crushed, which is unfortunate for many reasons. But there were 2 young men, probably between 10 and 12 years old, who came down the street here, and they were carrying guns. They looked like AK-47s I'm not skilled with that, so pretend. So I thought initially they were squirt guns, but they also had the sound of a machine gun type thing, da 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 da. If there was any public official down there, they would have been scared out of their wits. There were no one was here. Everyone had vacated. So that was the gift we had. But the kids were extremely respectful. The parents were not anywhere to be found. It should have been illegal what they did. It is not, I understand retrospectively. My first thought was they were squirt guns. And they were, I believe. But they went into where Tiffany works, in the galley there, and they came out shortly thereafter. I thought, oh, I wonder if they were escorted out. So then they ended up in front of City Hall, standing there or sitting there and just doing this with their guns, with the noises. And I was just sickened because they had no one was in any way, shape, or form looking after them. It was criminal on their way to Marie Spear campus, if there ever was any kids doing that. I'm not aware of the laws. I don't know what that means, but it was heinous. And we can't have that. If I don't know what to do about it, I asked a gentleman the next day, a police officer happened to be speaking to them. I thought he took care of it. We went down to the Mommy Street Company place and came back. And they were still there after their discussion with them. I do not know what happened to them. I tried to report it to someone. It was a volunteer. So I said, well, I'll talk to the police officers. And the gentleman said the next day, well, you can talk to the police officer, but there's nothing they can do. Well, I didn't like that idea. I'm not sure if that's the end result. And I know my time is up, but I just feel like it was extremely dangerous in our society. I had no idea it was not a weapon and they had needed supervision. Thank you.
I was gonna ask if I can appeal to
You
the
can,
mayor.
you can talk to us after because you just get one time.
Well, under the.
Yep, you can talk to us after, okay?
Under the open meeting, rules, I have a right to ask this of you, or you're in violation.
Sorry. Yeah, we let you come up at the beginning if you want for the agenda items and then public comment at the end as well, but you can talk to one of us after.
It is a state of Michigan open meeting rules that you're in violation of right now. I will follow up on it. I do have a right to ask for two things. I could have a right to
Yep.
ask.
Is there any more public comment inside the city chambers? Hearing no public comment inside the chambers, I will now open it up to the Zoom participants.
And good evening, Carrie Smith, City of Adrian. Wow. Just after listening to tonight's discussion, I think we need to address what I believe is a larger issue before this commission. It's not about whether one business might be better than another or whether buying local is a good idea. Of course, we want to support our local businesses and the people that are paying taxes if at all possible. But we want to do it when it can be done fairly and within the rules and as spelled out in our city charter. The concern in so many areas continues to be the process of which we do things. With our bid process within the city charter, that's established to ensure that every business competes on the same playing field. And once that process has begun, it should be allowed to run its course without individual commissioners inserting themselves into negotiations or operational decisions. This continues to be a problem because we do not have a city administrator. There is a line between governance and administration that continues to be blurred between this commission and City Hall. And there's just this growing pattern of commissioners becoming involved in day-to-day administrative matters that should be handled by a city staff or will as the interim administrator until one can be hired permanently. And so this city administrator search needs to be the top priority, the top agenda item. Thank you, Bob, for bringing it up tonight. Thank you, Mary, for saying that this bid process can be a slippery slope. We cannot have commissioners negotiating contracts, acting as a purchasing agent. I really would encourage the commission to familiarize themselves with the city charter. When I did point of sale and we repealed it, I knew that charter better than anybody when it came down to the ordinances because I read it inside and out. And so tonight we're asking questions that are clearly stated in the ordinance, whether it's flags or signs or the bid process. Education needs to be done, and it seems that the public is doing their part, and I would ask that the commissioners would do the same. The Michigan Municipal League has trainings that can be done for the new commissioners. Familiarize yourselves with the Roberts Rule of Orders. I know that the motions and the amendments got a little confusing tonight, but it feels from the outside looking in that we're making it up as we go. And if on a city
Your time is up. Thank you, Carrie.
May I speak?
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is Kelly Castleberry, Adrian, Michigan. I kind of second what Carrie said. I take a little bit offense to what was said about me previously by a commissioner. Just because I'm a previous commissioner doesn't mean I don't have some wherewithal to have a conversation. And everybody else that spoke, it does not mean they don't have a wherewithal to have a conversation. One of them quickly spoke up tonight, just mouthed a word and cleared the table for you. So I think we need to make sure that we aren't negating previous thought or conversation and looking to the knowledge and things that have come from the past. Like we should always learn from the past, lest we let history repeat itself. Matt, thank you for tonight for speaking up and saying that the commission has a lot of dysfunction. It does. I can't believe where it has gone since November. I'm quite frankly incredibly offended. If you are not calling each other and talking to each other all the time, and I'm not saying making decisions, I'm saying sharing thoughts, conversation, talking about what we can do better, we will continue to fail on the regular. You must look and find an administrator now. You shared with the public you were going to do it quickly. You pushed, and we didn't find one. Bob, you told us we needed to hire an outside committee when we chose Vince and quite frankly made a scene. We can do better than this. You have to start with checking your ego. You have to start with checking your biases, and you have to start with what is going to be better for the entire community, not just your part of the community, not just your part of where you live, but the entire community. I 100% say I was a yes voter on point of sale, and I did not run, but I probably would not have won based on that. But I can tell you that I am incredibly proud of every decision I made because I talked to so many other people, so many people about that. And I still stand by point of sale because we need to do something to make this community better. You have to get it together as a commission. Please get it together as a commission. You can, I believe in each and every one of you, quite frankly. I know each and every one of you personally, and I know you can do this, but you have to start by having coffee, one or two of you in the morning. You have to start by having dinner afterwards. You have to start by just being congenial. Please get it
Your
together
time is up. Sorry.
and do it
Thanks,
better for this
Kelly.
community. Thank you.
Hearing no more public comment, it is now time for commissioner comments, and I'm gonna start it out. When a community is going through a natural disaster or something bad happens, a flood or tornado, you see that community support each other, come out, work together to help that community get better. We're not going through a natural disaster, but we are definitely in a state of crisis. And we have to start working together. I have some leadership mentors that I talk to. I'm not going to name them all, but I'm going to name one of them. I highly respect his opinion. Bill Kenyon, he's always been a really great leadership model for me, and he recommended that I read, so I started reading it. John C. Maxwell's High Road Leadership, Bringing People Together in a World That Divides. And I want to read the practices of high road leaders. Bringing people together, valuing all people, acknowledging your humanness, doing the right things for the right reasons, giving more than you take, developing emotional capacity, placing people above your own agenda, embracing authenticity, being accountable for your actions, living by the bigger picture, not keeping score, and desiring the best for others. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I've always done that, but I'm trying. And I think that's where we really need to go. We really need to start working together. That's not micromanaging City Hall. That's not our job. It is our city administrator's job to manage City Hall. It is, and our acting city administrator, it is very capable and can do that. And it is not stepping in and thinking that we know more. We are not, that's not what our position is here. We are to listen to the community, to bring those concerns forth, to set policy. And I really think the listening part of that is the highest priority, is listening to each other, not listening to respond, but listening to each other. One thing that we're definitely hearing is that community, we are the voice of the community as the commission, but are we really listening to the community? We have failed. And that is where we really need to listen to the community. We need to be we are a part of this community, but we need to be with the community, and we all need to start working together. And that is setting egos aside, setting agendas aside, and really looking out for what is the best for this community. I believe in this community. I moved back here 22 years ago because I loved Adrian that much, and I still love Adrian that much. It breaks my heart to see what is happening in Adrian and the division that is happening. And I know there's division going on in the state of Michigan. There's division going on federally. There's division everywhere. It is definitely an epidemic. But we can stop it because we have people that just moved here. We have people that have been here for a long time that are invested. It doesn't matter if you just got here, or it doesn't matter if your family's lived here for many, many years. Everybody that moves here that I've ever met or that lives here is passionate about this community. And that's why we choose to stay. And we need to remember we all have the same goal. The same goal is to make Adrian better and to make it a great place to work, live, play, thrive. But we've got to start listening and working together. That means we're not always going to be yes people up here. We're not always going to be saying yes to each other. But we have to learn to be respectful, and we have to learn to agree to disagree. Some of these community leaders that I've met with recently, we haven't agreed on things, but it doesn't mean I'm not willing to listen. It doesn't mean they're not willing to listen. We've had great conversation, and I definitely did not always vote the way they wanted me to vote on things. I can guarantee you that. And that's where I think we really need to come together. I'm going to make it my personal mission to meet personally with all the commissioners on a more regular basis. I call a lot of you, we talk on the phone, but it's not been regular, it's not been consistent, and I will take full blame for that. I will take the fault for that. I'm fine with that. It's my fault that I do take the blame that some part of what this commission has fallen apart. But I'm going to also take that initiative to try to meet with each of you and on a regular basis, and let's get to a spot where we can work better for the city together. I'm also going to reinstate mayor hours over at City Hall. And it's going to be a time like that is after work that people can come in, and it won't. So if you are a working person, I'm going to try to not interfere with that, because I know that that's not always convenient to people if it's in the middle of the day. And my door is going to be open to hear your concerns, to hear your ideas. We need to start working together, because we are getting nowhere divided. Nowhere. We're going backwards, and we have to work together. And that means listening, and that means, thinking about that person, what they said. Maybe you don't still agree with it, but really take to heart what they said and trying to apply that and saying back to them, well, I don't agree with that, but saying it in a respectful tone. Like, we are a good people in our community. We are. And it's there in all of us, but we are not showing it right now. Social media doesn't help. I'm well aware of that, but we are not showing it. We are not showing love to one another. It's one of the first commandments, love one another. We are not showing that. We're not showing it on this commission. We're not showing it to each other in our community. And it's not okay, because we are going to get worse. Excuse me. But we are going to only disintegrate further. And like I said, I will take fault for some of that. I will. But I'm going to try to do better. And I just think we really need to come together more. And I'm asking the commission and the citizens to hold me accountable to that. Hold me accountable to meeting with you. Hold me accountable to being available. Because I care deeply and passionately, as everybody does in this entire room. I do not think I care more passionately than any single person in here. Every single person sitting in here cares as passionately as I do, I'm sure of it. But we have to start listening to each other, and we have to start working together.
I would just like to say that I appreciate the importance of keeping public comment factual and respectful. At the same time, public comment exists so residents can express their concerns, opinions, and even frustration. If someone makes statements that are inaccurate, we can correct the record with facts, but we should be careful not to discourage citizens from participating in the process. Our role is to listen respectfully, respond professionally, and maintain an environment where everyone feels comfortable addressing their elected officials. If there are factual inaccuracies, we should address these with evidence rather than broad statements about motives of those speaking. Public trust is strengthened when answers are concerned and concerns are openly and respectfully spoken to. As a commissioner, I'm concerned for all stakeholders, as I believe the whole commission is. I think the citizens, we care whether they have plain pockets, deep pockets, or hole in their pockets, are important. They deserve to be heard and treated with dignity and respect. We follow Robert's Rules of Order. Part of Robert's Rules of Order is to respect and respond with facts, not criticism or comment about people. I'd also like to address the tunnel. There's been some totally, I think, miscommunication about the tunnel. The tunnel started, I believe, and Mayor Heath or Commissioner Roberts, you were here when it was initiated in 2018. And it's been called from us as commissioners as a crumbling tunnel, a tunnel that goes to nowhere, a tunnel that no one wants. And I think that we need to be factual. The purpose of the tunnel was designed to connect the west side and the east side with a safe route. People always ask, well, can't we just use the crosswalk? Unfortunately, I know a young man that was using the crosswalk and was struck and lost his life without the use of that tunnel. So connecting that with the safe travel from east side to west side, 218, that's when we had Bone Pool. That's when kids could get to Bone Pool in a safe way. That's what that design was. It wasn't, let's just put a tunnel there. Its intent was to bring the city together. And so when we talk about that, we have to realize the intent. We don't have Bone Pool anymore, but we did back then. But you know what? We have a splash pad now on the east end of town, and kids that want to go from the west end to the east end can now use that tunnel to get to. And that was the purpose. Okay, and that was part of the $15 million enhancement grant. That wasn't a tunnel grant. It was a $15 million enhancement grant that the city started. I think it was Nathan Bird, correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor or Commissioner Roberts. It was,
The tunnel was not part of the enhancement grant initially. The tunnel came through earmarks through 3 million.
what year
from
was that?
Right as I got here, 2018, there are two earmarks, one for 3 million, one for 3.5.
Okay, thank you for that correction. But
That
tunnel came.
that was a while ago, so correct me if I'm wrong on
No,
that.
that's why I said.
But I'm pretty sure it was like 2000.
So the tunnel came
17.
as part of that. And when we're talking about the tunnel, that's part of the enhancement grant or the earmark grant that it came from. And its purpose was for Winter Street development, for the town square development, and for Blight development. Commissioner Kevin Martis from the County Commission put out a nice thing. I posted it on my elect Mayor Schwartz page and on my personal Facebook page about what monies can be used for the tunnel and what can't. And we had a gentleman here speak articulately, I can't even say it because I'm not articulate, about the importance of that and the drastic changes made. Yes, we've had a death. We've had catastrophic injury. The intent of the tunnel is not to make everybody mad. And if we go back and we look at the bolts, I think everybody, I came in 2023, I think with Commissioner Benke at that time. And all of those purchases of land for Winter Street and all that were approved by this commission. It wasn't by somebody else that just decided this was going to be. And so I think when we look at the tunnel, we look at the whole grasp. Its intent was to bring the community together, intent to improve Winter Street, to clean up the river racing, and to build town square. It's not the tunnel project. It's an enhancement grant for the city of Adrian. And so as soon as we realize it's broad and that we've all voted for, well, I can't say about Commissioner Cheshire, or Commissioner Zeit, or Kit Moore. We all voted for all those things. Those things passed with the commission in open meetings. And so to sit and criticize now because of public opinion, I think we need to be introspective and reflective of how we voted, and our actions have spoken much more than our words.
Commissioner Schwartz, just in terms of transparency, and don't take this the wrong way, but you said you put it on your elect Mayor Schwartz page.
No, Matt Schwartz, I don't know.
Okay, all right. Just didn't want, I know, I heard that, and I just didn't want that to be reported now that you're for mayor.
I'm not running again. We can put that out there. Commissioner, mayor, nothing. I'm done.
Okay, I was reading your mind. I was thinking that was a slip.
Yes, it was.
I have a couple updates. First, for members of our commission. So there is the MML conference that is coming up in October. I know I expressed in interest in attending that. That one is a couple-day conference, and like to see if we can get multiple members up there for the training on that. The schedule is out already, and that is on their website as well. I do have open commissioner conversations on August 11th from 6 through 7 at the district library. So invite everyone to attend, and I know the Lenawee Voice will be carrying that date in the future as well. I do have one community ask. So as part of the Toys for Tots Christmas in July program, we have about 6 foster children here in the city of Adrian, and about 8 adults from the Hope Center that we're going to be taking them fishing for the first time, some of them. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking them to the brick wall, and they're going to fry their fish up for them right there and have fish and chips. We do need some help with people. Now, I will say it's a trout pond, so it's guaranteed fish. That's the best way to go. But it is up in Dexter. So if anyone's willing to help Thursday morning to be at Dexter at 10:30, reach out to me and we can kind of coordinate with that. That'd be helpful because we got about 14 people, 14 kids, and at this point, 3 helpers, I think it is. And that's all I have.
Just a couple of things. I know we talked a lot about how, we're dysfunctional. I just want to state for our city staff, I see you. I see the work that you do. Things are moving along. They may not be moving along as quickly as other things, but we are moving. They are coming to work every day and they are working extra hours. They are doing a bang up job. We heard some kudos tonight from our city residents. So thank you. Especially, we have the sculptures in place now. They look wonderful. We have benches downtown getting repaired. Amazing. I've been asking for that for years. Our MISTA Housing Assistance Grant got submitted. Hopefully we'll hear soon on that. So, yeah, I appreciate all the work the city staff is doing. I had a conversation with MML last week about water infrastructure and the communities that received funding through the next state budget. And she was able to give me a list of the communities that were successful in getting grant funds through the state. And so I will be reaching out to those communities, working with our city administrator and specific questions to ask. There sounds like there's only one of the communities out of the 4, very, very competitive bidding for getting into state funding, just so everyone knows. Only 4 communities. Only one of them is specific to drinking water upgrades. So I'm really curious to hear from that community what exactly they asked for, what were their issues. And hopefully we'll get some information so that maybe we can work with our state representatives and get a request in there for anything we might need in the future.
I'd like to thank your comments, Mayor, as being mayor, and I think reconciliation is important as you try to move forward. But at the same time, I'm new to the committee and I'm looking at what's been going on. When people leave City Hall, it's a red flag. Why are they leaving City Hall? I gave a memo. I know we got a memo from the acting city manager that a recent email that said that Dan Black received $12,000 in increased pay, where the only memo he ever got was I've sent to everybody and the acting city manager was April 7th, 2026. From Heather Lasky, where it was, stipend was $7,700 basically. And now I did talk to Dan Black. I guess there was an increase somehow, but he never got any notification. So I would like to know the input, who changed it from this documentation I have. They give to the city, what caused the increase, and could have just done earlier to avoid him going to the city of Tecumseh. So he was never aware. I mean, he did try to talk to the acting city manager about that, but he said his hands were tied. But I asked the city manager if he ever read the city charter, and he said he has not read the city charter. And so the city charter says that the acting city manager has the same vested powers as the city manager. So he could have made some changes if he wanted to. I've asked, what is the firing process in this city for employees that are not working properly or not pulling their weight? I'm still waiting to hear that. And also on another note, I would like to work with Commissioner Roberts because I think the mayor, I presented this to the acting mayor last meeting. I think we should start a task force and find a water solution, build up the city and commissioners, city employees, and the city itself to find a solution and what our options are. And I think that would be a good step forward if you would appoint a task force, and I'd be willing to serve on it. And I just want to thank that everybody on here, we all want to make Adrian a better place. This afternoon, I had a nice chat with Commissioner Chesser in my office. We got to know a little bit each other. I tried to talk to Matt Schwartz, and I go to Commissioner Zach's restaurant. I tried to do that. She has good subs. And Zyke, I'm sorry, Zach, sorry, my eyes are bad. So, and I will work on communicating more with Commissioner Roberts and Benke. But I think we all have our hearts. We want to make Adrian a better place.
May I get a motion to adjourn?
Or
All in favor, say aye.